So let's go into the first story. So when someone asks to borrow money and tell you they'll pay you back on Friday. Okay, so this is something that happened to me about, I want to say 2.5, 3 weeks ago. I get a call from a contact of mine. Don't know them very well. So I would say, like, you know, not even an acquaintance. Phones me up saying, have this great opportunity. We're looking for 500,000 for 3 days. 500,000 for 3 days. And at the end of those 3 days, we'll give you 50,000, right? That's pretty impressive, right? And I was like, oh, okay, tell me more. Tell me more, right? So I hop onto a call with him and his business partner, and they tell me about the, you know, what this 500,000 is going for, where they're going to get it back in 3 days, and, you know, why they're willing to pay 50,000 for 3 days of my money. So I'm sitting there and I'm listening to them and I'm like, no, like, this doesn't make any sense, right? And so basically what they wanted was a P note from me for 500,000. And in those 3 days, it was a bridge loan. So they had another institution ready to fund it, but this institution is saying, before we fund you, you just have to pay off this one debt. And that debt was 500,000. So they were bringing me in on a P note, so it's not traceable anywhere, to pay off that 500,000 so that this institution would then advance them, how much was it? I think 7 or 8 million for a deal that they were working on. So there was a lot of money coming in for a bigger deal. So any comments or questions that's popping up when I tell you about this story?
Yeah, 500,000. They should have that 500,000 liquid to be able to pay off that debt anyway, especially considering the fact that if they're advanced the loan, how much are they going to be paying per month to pay that back anyway?
Isn't there also an element of it being unethical in terms of the representations they're making to the lender, the other lender?
Yes, but a lot of borrowers do that though.
It's unethical, but it's legal.
All right, so I had my meeting with them, and at the meeting I said, guys, you know what? One, I don't do P notes for people I don't know. Right, hands down, I just don't do P notes. And there was no collateral, no nothing. And I said, look, you know what? Like, I don't know you guys from Adam. The only reason why I'm having this call with you is because you're a friend of a friend. And I said, no, there's something that doesn't make sense in this deal for me. Right. So prior to the call, I had the name of the person who had the original 500. So they're going to use my 500 to pay off this other person. And they gave me the name of the institution that was going to be funding them the $6 or $7 million. So I did my search on that company, and I did a search on the person that they're paying out. So after the meeting with them, I sent my one contact a note saying, hey, do you know that the company who is going to be advancing you the money is under investigation? And as part of my next sentence, I said, how long have you guys been in default with this person that you need to pay 500,000 to? No comment. No phone call back, no text back, right? So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I left it, you know, because I've got other priorities in my day. So I left it. So this is what I get a week later from that contact. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a second to read it.
Oh, he has a meeting with Jimmy Hoffa.
So one of the reasons why I'm sharing this story with you is because even though I'm going through my first delinquency, things can be worse. Things can always get worse. So luckily, I'm still just going through my first delinquency. There's a light at the end of the tunnel for me, right? Because I know the appraisal's there. I know they're working on getting another investor or another lender to buy me out. Okay, it's not like this case where the guy, you know, completely disappears. Okay, any comments or questions before I go to the second story?
What did you tell him?
I did not reply because here's the thing, like, you know what? I only have 24 hours in my day. I do not have time to be wasted on people who are taking huge risks like this. Right? They put themselves in a situation where they are over leveraging and over promising people stuff. I want to keep my distance from this guy as much as possible. He really has no business taking money from other people to make investments, right? This person is like in their early 20s, right? So, you know, on the slide, when I showed you guys that slide about low interest rates, right? That's easy money for a lot of people, right? And this person got into that thinking, oh my God, well, you know what? I'll just borrow money from so-and-so and I'll lend it out at this interest rate, right? And they didn't run the risk saying, hey, you know what? If we can't pay that money back, what's going to happen? Okay, so I did not reply to this, but I'll tell you guys what, if you guys were in this situation, I would say be careful about reporting it. Because if your names are over and on any of the documents, you also become liable, right? And if you get reported to securities, you could be banned from ever doing any financial stuff for X amount of years, whether it's financial or real estate. You have to pay a fine, whatever that fine amount is, okay? And you potentially have a criminal record.